So you're looking for a place to live in Charlotte, North Carolina, and you've honed in on Mint Hill, or at least that area. Well, today in this video, I'm going to take you on a tour of Mint Hill like you've never seen before. We're going to take a look in depth at the map of Mint Hill, and I'm going to show you everything you need to know from commute times to areas that you might enjoy, parks, recreation, shopping, you name it. You are going to know everything you need to know about Mint Hill after this video. So stay tuned to the very end because I'm going to share with you one of my favorite locations and a bit of an unexpected area that you might not know exists there. So stay tuned, you're going to love it. Now, if you're looking for everything Charlotte, North Carolina and South Carolina, the good, the bad, and everything in between, you've come to the right channel. Go ahead and like and subscribe to stay up to date on all of my upcoming videos about the Charlotte region, including the things you didn't know you needed to know. In addition to that, if you want to be notified of all upcoming videos, click that little notification button and I'll be sure to keep you in the loop on all upcoming content. I'm Kayla Lindsay, and I really do get calls, texts, emails, Zoom invites every single day from people just like you, looking to move to the Charlotte, North Carolina and South Carolina areas. So if that's you, all my information is in the description below. I want to hear from you. Shoot me a text, call me, email me, send me a Zoom invite, whether it's 9 days or 90 days from now, whether you're moving across the world, across the country, or just across town. I'm here to make your move exactly what you want it to be. So let's dive into our video for today. I have been getting a ton of questions coming in about Mint Hill. Everybody looks at Matthews and they say, well, what's this little town right above Matthews? That is Mint Hill. And Mint Hill is a beautiful town, and it's about time it got its time on film. So I'm going to dive into commute times, great spots to live, some cool developments, and as usual, I'm also going to highlight some areas in different price ranges so you can get an idea of where you might want to look for your next home. So let's jump on and take a look at the map and see what we can find. All about Mint Hill. So if you're not familiar with the Mint Hill area, there it is right here. So as usual, I'm going to start with a zoomed out so we can see exactly where it is and what it's all about. So if I zoom out here, you'll notice Mint Hill sits to the southeast of Charlotte. It's still in the 45 Beltline. And if we come all the way out, you'll notice it's actually fairly close. I've got this cool little thing here where I can circle stuff. It's fairly close. We're about 2 hours from Asheville. From the Mint Hill area, it's about 2.5, and it's about 3.5 hours from multiple beaches. So you could be down in Charleston, Wilmington, or Myrtle Beach in about 3.5 hours. Great location. I absolutely love it. Obviously, I live in the area. Now, that being said, let's take a peek a little bit closer. So as I said, Mint Hill sits to the southeast of Charlotte. Now, the interesting part is it's still in the Beltline. So this is the 45 belt that spans right around here. So it sits right inside of it, a little bit outside, but mostly inside. And it's right to the northeast of Matthews. Now, you guys have heard me talk a lot about Matthews. I love that particular area. Mint Hill is kind of like a sister town to Matthews. Very similar things that you're going to find there. Similar price ranges. The schools are actually better. A lot of people rave about the schools in Mint Hill, which is amazing. So we're going to talk real quick about some of the other areas that you may be driving to from Mint Hill. Now, if you want to go down to Lake Wylie, you're not too far. You just scooch right along 45 and boom, you're there. Now, if you want to go to Lake Norman, which is to the north side, you're going to come up 485s to 77, and there you have it. Now, both of those are fairly close, but Charlotte is closer than anything else. So if you wanted to go to downtown Charlotte, the nice thing about Mint Hill, you've got Albemarle Road right here, or you can take 74, otherwise known as Independence. So if we zoom in here, you'll see it's flanked on both sides. So there's multiple ways to get into downtown Charlotte. Now, as you guys know, most people don't hang downtown Charlotte. It's called Uptown. I know. I'm used to being in New York. So Uptown Charlotte, nobody really goes uptown, but we do hang out in areas such as Plaza Midwood, Elizabeth, South End, Noda, those kinds of areas. Now, you're also going to be in pretty close proximity to South Park. So you're looking at a probably 25-minute drive into South Park. And the same goes for Ballantyne. These are just some of the hot spots that you might end up going to, so I figured I'd go ahead and highlight them. So there's a variety of things that I love about the Mint Hill area. One, like I said, location. The other part is going to be availability of shopping, dining, and really affordable housing still inside the 485 belt. So this is inside Mecklenburg County, which is awesome. So if we're going to go ahead and zoom in here, you're going to notice a few things. Yes, Mint Hill does have a cute little downtown. So we're going to go ahead and come right in over that right now. Now, this isn't necessarily, I'm not going to call it a downtown area, but it is a hub for many people. So if you zoom out and take a look, there is shopping all around, but this is one of the main hubs in the Mint Hill area. Now, you've probably seen this on some of my other videos because I did a bunch of driving tours in and around here. But you'll notice there's not only housing, but grocery all around here. So you've got different shops, etc. Gotta have your Sunflower Club Cafe. They've got great coffee. Chick-fil-A, of course. And then you actually also have the town hall. So in one of my prior videos, you would have seen me walking around there quite a bit. But as you head down, again, just more shopping, more homes, more opportunity, and of course, hospitals. So we'll get to hospitals in a second. We're going to focus on shopping. Now, although that's the hub, there's other shopping centers in and around the Mint Hill area. In fact, if you wanted to drive all the way into Matthews right here, that's maybe a 10-minute drive, just to give you an idea. So anywhere within Mint Hill to get to the little downtown area, you're about a 5 to 10-minute drive, which is nothing. That's one of the things I love about Charlotte as a whole. The way that they've organized the infrastructure of the city, you are never more than 5 to 10 minutes from a grocery store, which is great. So taking a look in here again at Mint Hill, and we're going to talk a little bit about commute times. All right. Now, people commute all over the city, and we're going to pop out our little map here in a second. Let me go ahead and do that. So people commute all over the city. Some of the prime locations to commute to are going to be Uptown, Ballantyne, South Park, and even up here in University, because there is actually a business park up here. So I'm going to show you the commute times for all three of those, as well as some adventures. So if we are headed from the right in the middle of Mint Hill to Ballantyne, you're looking at about a 22-minute drive. So you're going to hop right on 45 and scoot down. Now, if we change that location to South Park, like I said, about a 20-minute drive, give or take. So that says 29 minutes. Of course, there's multiple routes you can take. And then if we're going to head into Uptown, I'll go ahead and pull that into the center of Uptown, looking about 21 minutes. Now, the reason why this route into downtown versus South Park is a little bit longer to get to South Park is because it's all back roads. So you know how back roads are. It takes a little bit of time. Now, I'm going to add one other location that maybe you might commute to, which is the Fort Mill area. Most people live in Fort Mill and work in the Charlotte area, but sometimes you got to go backwards. The nice thing is it's about 31 minutes, so really not bad at all. Now we're going to scoot far north. Let's see if it allows me to drag it. It does. There is a business park right here in University. Now this will take you about 18 minutes to get to. It's super duper close, which is wonderful. And now let's talk about a little bit of fun. Yes, quick transition. Work is great, and we understand that the commute times are really short. But let's talk about fun. If you want to get to Lake Norman, there's a beautiful park right here called Blythe Landing, and that's going to take you about 33 minutes. Think about that, 33 minutes to be on Lake Norman. That's pretty darn good. The very intriguing part here is, if we're looking at commute times, 33 minutes to get all the way to Lake Norman, but it takes 30 minutes to get to South Park. Again, that's the power of having a major interstate close by. Now, if we flip-flop and say we want to pop down to Lake Wylie, we're looking at about 42 minutes. In general, the traffic is less on the north side of Charlotte than it is on the south side of Charlotte. So this area down here usually has heavier traffic, as does 77 coming up this way, and usually Independence. Now, don't get me wrong, there's still traffic on the north side, and it's usually right through here on I-77, but most of the rest of it's pretty wide open. So just a little bit of food for thought. If you're planning on commuting, that might be something you'd want to think about. Now, another nice thing about Mint Hill, you've got a variety of parks, playgrounds, outdoor things you can do. Now, some of them are smaller than others. So you've got the park on Wilgrove. This one's actually a little bit smaller than some of the other ones. Let's see if it'll pop up here. But it's actually a really pretty park. Now, I have kids. I have a little one. So it's important for me to have a place that we can go play. This one is an absolutely beautiful park. It's very tree covered. That's one thing I want to highlight. Trees are a big deal, especially when it's in summer, but it's a really pretty park. I absolutely love it. Now, other variety of parks, such as, let me back this up here, such as the Memorial Park. So Veterans Memorial is a little bit different. The reason why this park is different is because it offers a lot of, as you can see, different fields, ball fields, etc. So they've got pickleball, they have tennis, they have baseball fields, volleyball fields. It is a huge park, and I'll put my face over here so we can see it. It is a huge park, and a lot of the community come out. This is obviously a tennis court, but they have pickup games, they'll have CrossFit that goes out there. There's a lot that goes on, including festivals, so it's a really great spot to check out. So I'm going to highlight one more park, which is one of my favorites, which is this one right in here, Wylie Road. This has a lot to offer. So this is one of these, I guess if you play, you know, this is one of the disc golf courses in Charlotte. It is a beautiful park. They've got a lake on it and everything. I don't know if you'd call it a lake or a pond, but it's a beautiful park, and they have really nice picnic areas. The cool thing about this is as you're going through this park, you feel like you're in the woods. Like you would think you are in the middle of the North Carolina mountains, but you're not. You're right in the heart of Charlotte, which is awesome. So love this park. It's a lot of fun. We take my little one and the dogs out all the time, and they've got nice little playgrounds that are kind of scattered throughout. So very simple, but very nice. So let's talk about some of the other benefits of being in Mint Hill. We talked about commute times, we talked about parks and recreation. There's other things going on here, like you've got your urban air trampoline park, you've got plenty of shopping, and it's very close to different malls and shopping centers. So that is a huge benefit. You're actually only about 15 minutes from Concord Mills Mall, which is one of the closer ones. The other one's right down here, which is Carolina Place Mall. So you've got plenty that you can do when it comes to shopping. But let's talk about living in this area. So let's talk about the safety of Mint Hill. I get asked this question a lot, people moving into the area. Which area is the safest? Which one has the best area for me to be living? Mint Hill is a very safe area, and there's very few unsafe places in Charlotte, to be perfectly honest. But Mint Hill, if you're to look at the stats, and there's several websites that'll show you this with regards to crime rates, it's actually safer than many other major cities and towns in the United States. In fact, when you're looking at violent crime, with 1 being the lowest, 100 being the highest, you're actually going to find Mint Hill lands at 13.8, where the rest of the US is 22.7. So it's safer than most other areas of the country. And the good thing about this, violent crime is really low, and so is the rest of the areas around it. So you're in a really great spot. In addition to that, I'm gonna highlight the schools for a second, because the schools are amazing. Now we're looking at schools, we've got, of course, elementary, middle, and high school. Now there's always the option too to go private schools, or charter, etc. But if we're looking at public schools, the top 2 elementary schools in this region are both in Mint Hill. One being Bain Elementary, which is number 1. The next is Stallings Elementary. Now, Stallings Elementary is very close by, and there are some students that are in the Mint Hill area that go to the Stallings Elementary School. School districts are a little bit different here in the Charlotte region. It's not just by city or by zip code, it's by the actual area. So you could be across the street from a kid that goes to a completely different school. Now, anybody who has ever gone to middle school knows middle school is terrible. I hated middle school. Absolutely hated it. I don't think I know anybody except for maybe my husband that actually liked middle school. Now, as a parent, you want to make sure that the middle school is also a good education. Mint Hill, once again, 8 out of 10 score on their middle school, which is actually pretty high rating. Now, the last school to highlight is going to be the high school. Now, I always take these scores with a grain of salt and take a look at what they truly are. So as you can see, student progress, which in my opinion is the best thing. Student progress means that from where the child came in that grade to where they go out, what they've learned, what they've excelled at, it is increasing and improving. This school is at a 9 out of 10, which is extremely high. Now, test scores are a 6 out of 10, which is still pretty solid. Where this school has a lower rating is equity. And when we really look into the equity, it's talking about the demographics, the income of the students in the school or their parents. So take it with a grain of salt. I tend to focus more on test scores and student progress than anything else. And for anybody that I know that has their student or child in David Butler, they actually really love it. So let's talk a little bit about the area of Mint Hill when it comes to housing. All right, so only 0.9% of homes are actually available for rent. That includes apartments, and there are fewer apartments in Mint Hill than there are single family. Single family is dominant in the rental space here. In addition to that, single family homes and the actual appreciation over the last 10 years has been over 161%. How crazy is that? That means people living in Mint Hill have seen extreme appreciation on their homes. Home appreciation in Mint Hill is up 23.7%, and it's not going to stop. Now, good thing about this is if you buy a house here, you're going to be in a really good spot. But the downside is, well, if you're trying to buy, you're going to be paying more than people paid 6 years ago. But that's what we're looking for, right? It's an investment. We want the prices to go up, not down. That's going to show that you've got a strong economy and place to live. But the nice thing is there's still affordable homes in the Mint Hill area. The average price point is $476, and I'm going to show you what you could potentially get and where these houses are. So here's an image of Mint Hill. As you can see, there's a bunch of little dots on here. All of the dots that you see that are blue are closed homes. Everything orange is under contract, and everything that is green is available. Purple's coming soon. The reason I want to highlight this, I'm looking at price ranges between $300 and $450. So as you can see, homes in Mint Hill do come on the market in those price ranges, but they go under contract rather quickly. As you can see here, all these blue dots here, but there still are homes available. Now let's take a look at the 500 to 700 range. Now this is a view of Mint Hill and all the homes available between the $500 and $700,000 range. Now, one thing to note with regards to this, obviously this is over a 6-month period, so we're not seeing exactly just what's here today, but if you want to know what's just here today, take a look at anything green and purple. So there's some nice clusters of homes in these areas, and as you notice, right down in here, you're going to see a large cluster of homes between 500,000 and 700,000. Now, if we take a look at what these results are, you're going to get an idea of what the square footages are. So if I go ahead and organize this in order from 500 to 700, you're going to see these homes are usually in the 3 to 4 bedroom range, 2 to 3 bathrooms, and you've got square footages anywhere from 1,900 all the way up to about 3,000 in some cases. Now, if we go ahead and take a look at what the 700s are giving us, it's going to be sometimes newer homes, sometimes not. So this one for $693 was built in 2024, new construction. Meanwhile, the $700 home, which closed here recently, was built in 2024. So it's certainly, there's a range that it's going to be in, but you can see that there's a lot of availability. Now, this is one of the very interesting parts with regards to Mint Hill. Now, you've seen probably in some of my other videos, some of the more expensive homes in Charlotte are going to be down in this area in here, up around Charlotte proper, right? And of course, up here on Lake Norman. We could all expect that. Now, what we're seeing right here is $800 to $1 million. Now, as you can see, not only does Mint Hill have these properties, it's also closing these properties. Mint Hill is absolutely stunning. And if you take a look at the satellite view of Mint Hill, you're going to notice that there is so much greenery. Let me go ahead and pull this up here. Gotta love doing that. There we go. There is so much greenery when it comes to Mint Hill. Look at all this. You've got golf courses, you've got beautiful parks, and you've still got untouched land all throughout here. So it is prime for opportunity when it comes to beautiful luxury homes. And that's what most of these builders that are building luxury in the Mint Hill area are seeing, is that opportunity. So you can still be 20 minutes to downtown Charlotte, but you can be in Mint Hill, pay less for your property potentially, especially for the land, and still have magnificent luxury homes. So again, $800 to $1 million. Now let's check out one last piece. All right, so last but not least, this is a much higher budget, but this is $1 million plus. Now, the reason I want to point this out, and this is true for many areas of Charlotte, there are these beautiful homes that are just speckled throughout Charlotte. Now, while these prices are much more common in Charlotte Central, such as Barclay Downs, South Park, Ballantyne, they're not as common in the Mint Hill area. But as you can see, because all of these properties are speckled together, as you've noticed, between the 300 to 500, 5 to 7, 8 to 900 and above, there's opportunity for everyone, which I absolutely love. But I want to highlight, because I told you in the beginning of this video, I was going to highlight a particular development that most people don't know about. And here it is. It's a development called Cheval. And I'm going to go ahead and share this with you, or show this to you. So here's an example of a property that you would find in Cheval. Cheval is absolutely beautiful. It's focused on equestrian. So there's a lot that are interested in equestrian and riding horses in this development, but you don't have to be into the equestrian atmosphere in order to love this development. Now, this is an example of one of the many homes that have come to market and have sold in this area. absolutely stunning, sitting on 1.6 acres. This property is just under 4 million, but it is absolutely beautiful, especially the location is beautiful. So I'm going to share with you a couple of these photos of the exterior living, interior living. I love it. Every detail, there is no expense spared, and you can feel it throughout the entire property, which is amazing. So this is what you can expect from properties in Cheval. So let me tell you a little bit about Cheval. Now, what better way to share with you Cheval than actually showing you their website? So as it states, there are little unique villages throughout this is what they've set it up as, which also have their own price ranges, which is wonderful. Now, as you can see in this image right here, you can see downtown Charlotte just in the outside, right in the outskirts right there. But as we know, it's only about 20 minutes from there. In addition, if you take a look, even this aerial view will show you how stunning the area is. So many trees, lush green. I love it. The other thing is, the entire development is custom built. So there are no ticky-tacky. Every single home is completely different. Now, as you can see here, this is the master plan for the development. So there are a variety of homes that are on larger lots, as well as some on smaller lots. The Woodlands Enclave, you get the picture. The other big key piece to this is the actual equestrian center right here. Don't want your horses right in your backyard, that's fine. That's part of the reason and the draw for the equestrian center is that there are people on staff that can care for your horses close by. In addition to that, you've got these other areas and phases that have not been completed yet. So there's still opportunity if you wanted to go custom. But as you've seen here, there are properties that are still available and are being sold. They're just not as common to be resold because, well, most people are building their forever homes. But I absolutely love it. If you are interested in more information about Cheval, please feel free to give me a shout. And that rounds out Mint Hill. I know there's probably way more that I can share with you, from my favorite restaurants to where are my favorite places to go hang out, such as bars and nightlife. But what I want you to know is that Mint Hill not only has a thriving economy, easy commute times, beautiful homes, and a variety of home prices, it's also a great place to live. Whether it's yourself, your family, or retiring, I would consider Mint Hill a great opportunity for you to step foot in. Well, I hope you found this video helpful. I know there's a lot of information about Mint Hill. It's one of my favorite towns here in Charlotte. So I want to hear from you. Drop it in the comments below. What are your thoughts? What questions do you have? Do you live here? Are you thinking of living here? Let me know. I want to hear from you. And if you did get value out of this video, go ahead and also like and subscribe. I truly appreciate all of you that subscribe to my channel and helping it grow and reach more people. And as you guys know, I really do get calls, texts, emails, Zoom invites from people just like you looking to make the move to the area. So all my information is in the description below. Go ahead and grab it and be sure to reach out. Call, text, email, whatever you choose, whether it's 9 days or 90 days from now, whether you're moving across the world, across the country, or just across town, we're here to make your move everything you want it to be. Until next time, I look forward to showing you around town. So you're making the move. There's a lot of videos that you can be watching, like this one right here, or maybe even this one. Really either one of these, but honestly, watch both of them because they're going to help you make the move. Go ahead, pick one. They're both really good.